Welcome back to Breslov campus. We'll be going into a little about why Rabbi Nachman for Rosh Hashana and the concept of traveling to tzaddikim for Rosh Hashana. We will start off with this point. Rabbi Nachman, Rav Nosson, really, he explains in an amazing exposition one of the many reasons, and besides that, the hidden reasons of this concept of traveling to a tzaddik on Rosh Hashana. Why it is so important not to be alone, not to daven in your local shul for Rosh Hashana, but to travel to be by tzaddikim for Rosh Hashana. What is the idea? He explains Rav Nosson that the Gemara says that on Rosh Hashana, on the day of judgment, 3 books are opened in heaven. The books of the righteous, the books of those who are in between, and the books of the wicked. And the Gemara says that the righteous are inscribed immediately, le'altar, for life on Rosh Hashana. The wicked are inscribed immediately for death on Rosh Hashana. And the people in between are given until Yom Kippur to change the balance, because they're in between. It's not sure which side to put them on. And they give it until Rosh Hashana, until Yom Kippur, to see where they're holding, and then to be inscribed or in the book of life or the book of death. These are the 3 books that are open on Rosh Hashana, which makes it a big day, the day of judgment. Your future year, your whole life, everything, your revenue, everything you're going through in life will be determined on this day of Rosh Hashana. So Rav Nosson says something amazing. You can have a scenario that there is a person who in himself is a wicked person, and all the more so if he's not a wicked person, he's an in-between person, and he, by his own right, is deserving of being written and inscribed in the book of the wicked, or the in-between people until Rosh Hashana, until Yom Kippur. But by his traveling to a tzaddik, a true tzaddik who is definitely inscribed for life, even though the wicked person in himself deserves to be written and inscribed in the book of wicked, he is inscribed together with that tzaddik in the book of life. Even though he himself, where's the fairness here? He himself is not deserving of being inscribed in the book of life, but the fact that he demonstrates his faith, his emunah in the tzaddikim, and the emunah in tzaddikim is not a small matter, it is a big, big matter, because it reflects on a special gem hidden within the person that comes out in this presentation of faith in tzaddikim. That is so important and so precious that tips the scale, that even a person, his actions, he's a wicked person, he's a bad person, he's known to be a bad person, he does terrible things, yet he's willing to travel to be by tzaddik for Rosh Hashana, so he deserves, amazingly, to be inscribed with the tzaddikim for life on Rosh Hashana. This is the idea of really, really thinking it over. Where do you want to be for Rosh Hashana? On one hand, it's a family event, the families get together, we have the family seudah and everything, but on the other hand, it's the day of judgment. You and your family are being judged on this day, and you definitely want the best attorney to present your case and to be with you. You want to have the greatest merits possible to make through the year. Of what use it is if I have a regular Rosh Hashana, if now it means that I'm going to lose out in what the year is presenting to give me the upcoming year. If now I can gain life, if I have a big possibility of losing out the whole year, so it makes sense to properly invest on that first day of the year on the right footing. Now, a step further, Rav Nosson writes that we understood clearly. He writes in the book Tzaddik, we understood clearly from Rabbi Nachman's expressions and what he said, that it was his wish that we should continue coming to be by him in Uman for Rosh Hashana, even after his passing. This is Rav Nosson that writes this. Rav Nosson is the main disciple who understood Rabbi Nachman better than anybody else, meaning I have to really, and I should take into consideration how Rav Nosson understands Rabbi Nachman as opposed to how I understand Rabbi Nachman in his teachings. And this is what Rav Nosson writes, that it was understood from Rabbi Nachman's expressions on his last Rosh Hashana, when he was dying. He passed away 18 days later, after that last Rosh Hashana in 1810. He passed away on the 18th of Tishrei, in the middle of Sukkot. He was dying, and yet he stressed, and he said with such force, there's nothing greater than being by me of Rosh Hashana. And he knew he was leaving the world, and yet he's making this statement. This was the basis for Rav Nosson to say that this is to continue even after his passing. And seeing the greatness of Rabbi Nachman, and you can see the greatness clearly from his writings, from his teachings, especially when he's explaining about his own greatness, as you can find in the book Tzaddik. Seeing such an outstanding, unique figure, it is worth considering this opportunity to spend Rosh Hashanah by this tzaddik. If already you're going to spend Rosh Hashanah by tzaddikim, you've already been convinced to make that move, so it's worth considering spending Rosh Hashanah by Rabbi Nachman based on the statements he said about his own greatness, making him a top-notch tzaddik to help you get by Rosh Hashanah, you and your family, to get through Rosh Hashanah for life.